Hi everyone, welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday. My name is Molly and I'm the Wellness Supervisor here at Bircham Hills. So today we're going to talk a little bit about hand-eye coordination, kind of what that is, some different tasks that we might use it for, and I'll give you a couple of examples of ways that you can work to improve your hand-eye coordination. So let's jump right in. So most of us are probably, somewhat familiar with what hand-eye coordination entails. And as the name suggests, it's the coordination between our eyes and our hands, right? So some of the different things that we use hand-eye coordination for, I've got my little list in front of me here. So throwing and catching, right? If something's coming at you, you use your eyes to gauge where that object is in space. And then your eyes kind of tell your brain, okay, this is what we need to do. And your brain tells your muscles to move so your hands can catch it. And things like juggling. Jugglers have excellent hand-eye coordination. Even down to things as simple as tying your shoes, writing sentences, picking up and drinking a glass of water, right? Because if we couldn't gauge, okay, I got to bring it towards my face, we'd end up spilling water all down our fronts. But I do that regardless, so that's neither here nor there. So basically though, it is what it sounds like. It's our eyes taking in all of those visuals, telling our brain what's happening in the world around us, and then our brain telling the muscles in our body how to react, right? So this uses a couple of different areas within our brain. We won't go into all of those specific areas today, but again, the reason that hand-eye coordination is so important is because we really use it not only to kind of like navigate our movements in space, but when we are initiating a task or working to complete a task. So again, some of the information that our eyes are taking in and telling our brain when we're looking for hand-eye coordination is, how big is the object that I'm looking at? What size is it? What shape is it, right? Because if I have something that's very thin, I'm not gonna go pick it up like this, right? I'm gonna, like if I'm picking up a piece of paper, right? What does it look like? Does it look like it's a rough surface? Is it a slippery surface? Is it going to, be hard or difficult to catch, or will it be fairly easy? Does it look fragile? Does it look heavy? How close or far away is it from me? All of these different inputs are essential for our brain to know exactly what it's going to need to do. Seems like a lot, right? So it's more than just where is it? It's a matter of how do I need to pick it up? How hard will it be to pick it up? Do I need to move before I pick it up? Is it moving at me and do I need to catch it, right? All of those different things. So once our brain has all of that information that our eyes have taken in, it's then able to send all of those signals to our muscles and kind of tell them, okay guys, this is what's going on. This is what you need to do to effectively complete this task. Hand-eye coordination, like we were discussing earlier, can contribute to the littlest of tasks to the biggest of tasks. But in reality, it's something we're really using in our everyday situations. So, got my list of examples here helping me out. So, a couple of different things that we can do to work on our hand-eye coordination. So something very simple is practicing throwing and catching. I would not recommend using something hard like a baseball. Something soft to start off with, like whether it's a pillow or a bean bag, or if you have a soft, ball. Just practicing tossing and catching with a partner is a really simple way to begin improving that hand-eye coordination. You can start off with a closer distance and gradually move further apart. You can practice saying, okay, I'm gonna throw it high, I'm gonna throw it low, I'm gonna throw it a little to the left, a little to the right. And again, just working on gauging where that object is and then responding to it appropriately. Another couple things you can do with balls. You can practice catching it with two hands. You can practice catching it with one hand. You can practice if you have something more like a basketball, or like a big beach ball that bounces, you can practice bouncing and then catching it. Just changing up all of those different visual inputs that then tell your body how it needs to react in order to catch it. Some other things that you can try are And again, this one's not so much with, catching and throwing in objects around us, but you can practice, touching fingers to thumb, because again, you're using your eyes to kind of gauge where it is and you're responding. Practicing, touching your hand to your nose, things of that matter. Another thing that you can try is practicing shifting your gaze from something that's closer to you to something that's further away. So for example, let's say I'm sitting in a chair, which I am, and I have one object that's sitting 2 feet in front of me, and then there's another object that's sitting 12 feet in front of me. Practicing shifting my gaze from the object that's closer to me to the object that's further from me is helping my eyes practice adjusting. Because again, when we know when something is closer to us versus when something is further away from us, the lens in our eye has to adjust for that, right? It's kind of like when you're looking and you're setting up a picture, how some things can be blurry, but then it focuses in on it. So giving our eyes that practice is another thing that we can try. So I know all of those seem very simple and they seem kind of obvious, but in reality, practicing things like that is very effective at helping us to improve that hand-eye coordination. Again, some of those different examples that I gave you at the beginning for things that require hand-eye coordination, we talked about throwing and catching, we talked about juggling, tying your shoelace, touching your nose, right? Making a cup of tea, brushing your hair even, pouring a glass of water, writing a sentence. So if there is a specific task that you find yourself struggling with, practicing that task is going to make it easier. But in reality, all of those different things come together to make up our hand-eye coordination. So short video for you today. I hope that you were able to take something away from this, learned a little bit about hand-eye coordination. Have a great rest of your Wellness Wednesday, and we will see you here next week. Thank you.